Ryan Priest, and you're watching William Blackwell on YouTube.
Alright, this video might be really controversial, but whatever. Sunday, April 5th, 2020, the NASCAR Pro Invitational Series hit the track at the Bristol Motor Speedway. You had a 2-hour span. Fox was covering them for the third week in a row. At Homestead, you had FS1 broadcast it. And at Texas, you had both Fox, the main station, and FS1 broadcast it. And this past weekend, you had Fox and FS1 broadcast it too. But in some areas, Fox doesn't. But FS1 will do it. But they had a 2-hour TV span. They get 3 races in. You had 2 qualifying races and 1 main event, which the qualifying races were 50 laps each. And the main was 150. So in total, you're saying 250 laps get turned at the Bristol Motor Speedway in a 2-hour span. If a lot of breaks and possibly interviews. But dual qualifying race 1 was won by driver William Byron, an Exalta 24 car, just dominant fashion, led every single lap. And then dual number 2 was won by John Hunter Nemechek in a 38 car for Front Row Motorsports, just edging out Ryan Priest in a 37 JTG Daugherty Racing car at the start and finish line. Ryan Priest actually finished second the previous weekend at the Texas Motor Speedway, so he has some momentum going in. If he would have won this race, he would have so much momentum heading to the main and possibly been a big favorite, heavy favorite. But as soon as that main event started, you saw caution after caution, a complete wreck fest. And you saw drivers not take it too serious, such as Daniel Suarez in a 96 car and Kyle Larson in a number 42 car. Daniel Suarez got kicked out of the race last week at the Texas Motor Speedway for intentionally wrecking Ty Dillon, but he did not wreck Ty Dillon, obviously. He wrecked himself. And yeah, similar to Danica Patrick a couple of years back, where she was trying to wreck David Gilliland, but ended up wrecking herself and ending her day. So that's what Daniel Suarez pretty much did at the Texas Motor Speedway at the iRacing Pro Invitational Series race there. But you fast forward a week, he does the same exact thing with Kyle Larson, gets kicked out. So you see the drivers not take it too serious, but you see Bubba Wallace and Clint Boyer get into it. Coming off of turn 1, Boyer gets put in the wall. And coming off turn 2, Clint Boyer just sends Bubba Wallace for a ride and just spins him out. Bubba Wallace hits the inside of the retaining wall and has so much damage on Bubba Wallace's car, and it's going to force him to use a reset. And using a reset this early in a race will ruin his chances at winning. So what does Bubba Wallace do? He gets on his headsets and tells everyone that was, I'm assuming, racing in the event, this is the reason why I don't take this bleep too seriously. So you saw Clint Boyer, before the race state that you're going to see a lot of tempers flare and possibly carry over to real life. And this might be one right here. Bubba Wallace ended up rage quitting. And this caused so many things to happen. Because one, Bubba Wallace lost a sponsor. This is big. Because Blue Emu was supposed to sponsor his NASCAR Pro Invitational Series rides. And more importantly, a NASCAR Cup Series race. I don't know which race it was. I think it was a Texas race in the fall. That is no longer happening because Blue Emu is backed out. So you can see someone possibly in that money range in the Cup Series get sponsored by Blue Emu, such as Cody LaJoie, maybe Michael McDowell, John Nemechek. You get the point. They're going to someone else that's not a quitter. But Bubba Wallace put out on Twitter saying, "Baja, I'm dying," and mentions right now, "I ruined so many people's day by quitting a video game. Baja, a video game day in quarantine life is rough." And he had the laugh emoji, 3 of them laugh emojis. So he obviously wasn't taking this too serious before. And then Blue Emu replied to his tweet shortly after he put that out. GTK, and for some of you that don't know, including me, I had to research this, got to know where you stand. Bye-bye, Bubba. We're interested in drivers, not quitters. So they weren't impressed by him. They didn't tolerate this, him quitting this race after just getting wrecked out. He still had a chance to come back for a reset and win it. But Blue Emu did not like that, so they backed out of sponsorship, and Bubba Wallace now without a sponsor for a couple races. So what could this mean for Bubba Wallace's future? One, he can lose his ride for the 2021 season. It's really heading in the season. It was uncertain for Bubba Wallace if he'll return to the 43 or not 2021, but this could pretty much guarantee that he won't if the funding doesn't get there. And two, this is you can compare this to him losing a ride, but if him backing out, this could cause him to not participate in some of them races this season. If without the funding, they might not be able to travel across the country, say to Sonoma and race. They're gonna need the funding to get there, and gas isn't cheap now. If you're a diesel truck driver and going across the country, and you need that sponsorship and they provide a race car, tools, provide for the team. So if this backing out, it's gonna hurt RPM, but more importantly, hurt Bubba Wallace's future there. So what I think happens is, I think Richard Petty Motorsports RPM lets go Bubba Wallace for the 2021 season and finds a new driver. And this new driver is pretty my favorite driver last so many years. I think it'd be Clint Boyer. Clint Boyer is on his contract here with Stewart-Haas Racing, but I think him and the 43 car would be a great combination. It'd be cool to watch, but that's just a prediction right now. But I think Bubba Wallace gets booted out, but I think it's for his own good at the same time. It would be hard for Bubba Wallace to say no if Richard Petty came up with a contract extension deal. So this is actually helping him out. And I think Bubba Wallace will get a good time, possibly Xfinity Series ride, or possibly some upgrade for a Cup ride, maybe front row or something like that. But I would expect him to go to the Xfinity Series with a good ride before he will go to an okay team in a Cup Series, not a winning caliber team. But you get my point. But Bubba Wallace not taking iRacing 2 Series ended up costing him a sponsor and just going to hurt his future. But last story, the NASCAR Euro Series just put out a thing, Adam Stern confirming, that they're going to have real-life consequences for the iRacing League, for their league. Not highly recognized as a NASCAR Pro Invitational Series races are, but say if a driver were to win it, they'll be locked into the playoffs. And I think that's just ridiculous and taking it way too far. No offense to Timmy Hill's team, Carl Long's team. They will never win a Cup race at the Texas Motor Speedway with the equipment they got. So saying Timmy Hill should be locked in the playoffs after winning an iRace is just completely messed up. And I think they're taking this way too serious. But what do you think about this whole thing that's going on, Bubba Wallace losing his sponsor? Do you agree with his comments or disagree? I agree with his comments, but everybody please like and subscribe. Peace.